I bet you've heard this riff. But what about this one? Same song. How does it work? Why does it fit? How can two seemingly different riffs come together in a song and be cohesive, fit together, and ultimately sound great? How can you do it in this song, and how can you do it for your own songs or your own guitar playing? That's what we're going to get into today, so let's get to work. My name's Clayton. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about lead playing through the lens of rhythm, through a little bit of the CAGED method. So, what's this all about? Essentially, we got a song, and it's D, C add 9, and G. And some version of strum picking on those chords. And then we have a section that goes, which sounds a whole lot like it. I mean, it sounds like the song. How are those things related? Imagine that you're in a band and you've got one guitar player doing this, and you come in and you want to do something else. Well, we're going to move away from open position with those very same chords, D, C, G. So you might know your 6th string bar chords, D, C, G. You might know your 5th string bar chords, D, C, G. And maybe you can combine those into all sorts of different combinations. We're going to look at a different one. We are going to look at a G shape. So this is a triad. It's an inversion. It's a caged shape. There's lots of different names for it. We're going to look through the lens of the CAGED method today. It's not the only way to do it. It's just what we're going to do today. So let's check this out. So what is a G shape and how does that work? Well, first of all, I don't want you to play this. Just watch, because nobody actually plays this. And if you've ever seen the CAGED method before, you've probably seen some shapes that are just unplayable. The way it works is I take my G chord, and then I pretend I'm my own capo, and I move the whole thing up. This is no fun. So don't even try to play this big ugly chord. We're just looking at it as a way to understand that, okay, that G chord can be moved around. But it doesn't become, well, it's not G anymore. It becomes A. It becomes B. It becomes C. The root note is on the 6th string. That G note tells us that's G. When I move it 2 frets up, that becomes an A. Same as your open A string. A, B, B major, C, C major. But we're not going to take the whole shape, so what do we take? We get rid of the top string and the low string, the 2 E strings, and we play this inside piece. This is a inversion, a different voicing, a different triad piece, whatever you call it. It's a piece of the G shape, and it's much, much more manageable. You can play this anywhere, just like you played that G shape anywhere. We're going to play it at the 7th fret. And we're playing it at the 7th fret because that makes it a D chord. And then we're going to play it at the 5th fret because that makes it a C chord. And then we're going to move it down to open position because it returns to being a G chord. D, C, G. So this is what I might play as that second guitar player. I see the other guitar player hanging out on those open chords, and I'm going to move up here. And I got something that's complementary. Why is it complementary? Well, it's the exact same thing, but it's new. It's different. It's a new take on the same chord that's a little bit fresh, just in comparison to what we've already done. So it's a great way to just say something different with this, what's ultimately the same chords. So now imagine you're playing this rhythm guitar, and somebody gives you that nod, right? And they're like, yeah, play something. And you're like, oh man, what do I do? Like I'm switching gears to lead, so I'm thinking, okay, like maybe I'm the key of D, so let me go up to like my pentatonic. You know, maybe you know those patterns, maybe you don't. That's not how we want to think about this. We want to imagine, well, what fits right over the chord? We're going to think not about the key, but the chord that's happening at the moment. So in this D chord, there's actually a pentatonic pattern that fits over the top of that chord. And it's our favorite pattern. It's that minor pentatonic, that pattern number 1. Now, we're not going to think of this as a minor pentatonic. Probably shouldn't have said that, but I know a lot of people call it that. This is a major pentatonic because our root note is here on this D note. So how is it true that a major chord just fits with a pentatonic scale? Well, the answer is that a major chord is the intervals 1, 3, 5, and a pentatonic scale, a major one, is the intervals 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So it's essentially a major chord, 1 through 5, plus 2 notes, the 2 and the 6. So anytime you have a pentatonic scale, a major pentatonic scale, there is an underlying chord shape that fits right under it. We just maybe aren't aware. And every time you have a major chord, there's an overarching pentatonic scale that can be built on top. Whenever you play that chord, there's a scale that's right under your fingers, even if you're not aware about it. And whenever you play that scale, that chord of the same letter is right under our fingers, whether or not we're aware of it. So we're trying to tap into that connection. So when I play this D chord with my G shape, pattern 1 is a pentatonic scale of the same letter name, a D major pentatonic scale. And guess what? When we go to a C major, and I have a C major chord, pattern 1 fits over that, because I have a C major chord, I should say, and a C major pentatonic scale. Hold on. When I change scale, am I not changing keys? That's the whole thing. A scale is a key. Not in the case of a pentatonic. If you have a major scale, a 7-note scale, that's essentially every note, so you can't change it. But when you have a pentatonic scale, there's only 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We're missing the 4 and the 7. And so, in fact, 2 pentatonic scales based on 2 different chords can be in the same key. Let me say it again. 2 separate pentatonic scales based on 2 separate chords can be in the same key. So that's kind of how we're going to use this, is we're going to say, rather than thinking of, oh, what key am I in? What chord am I over? And because the shape is paired with the scale shape, pattern 1 with the G shape, no matter where I go, pattern 1 goes with me, as long as I play the G shape. There's going to be future videos with other shapes and other patterns. Right now, we're just going to do this one pairing. So what's really happening in this song is that they moved open chords to these bar chords, these triad caged shape voicings. And then over top of that, when, you know, the other guitar said, hey, play me something, they figured out that that pentatonic scale fits and embellishes upon the chord they're playing. So it might have gone something like this, you know, like, play me something. No, something else. That's too lead, not rhythm enough. Something else. Now we're kind of getting somewhere. And they say, wait, let me forget the chord at all. So instead of, just jump right in that. And all of a sudden you hear other songs. start to hear other kind of things like, oh, maybe that's where that came from. But in this song, we went D, C, G. Literally the same little idea moved through 3 different chords, all with the same caged shape. The G shape and the overlying pentatonic pattern number 1. Paired together, mashed together, so that you can have a chord and embellish it. Have a chord and embellish it. Have a chord and embellish it. So what do you do with this? Rather than looking at embellishing chords as a lead thing, let's look at it as a rhythm thing. So I'm in the key of C. What chords am I playing? I'm playing C, and I want to go to F. C, D, E, F. I got 2 chords that now I can move around. F. And anything I develop over 1 chord comes with me to the next one, because it's the same shape and it's the same pattern. And if it sounds to you like that John, Stevie, Jimmy thing, it is. That's the thing they would do. They would throw these chords together with this rhythm stuff to put things together in a really cool and fun and interesting way. But I digress. That's another lesson for another day. In this case, we've got DCG, which becomes DCG, which becomes kind of lead, and then it becomes that specific riff. And you can move that around the neck to play any chords, any key, make your own version of this song, make your own version of any other song, make your own version of your own song. Throw some chords together and see what you can come up with jamming over them and embellishing upon that shape. So, hopefully you found this was helpful. If you like the kind of stuff that I do here, please like, share, subscribe. I have a link below to sign up for a Guitar Master course that I'm creating, or try a guitar lesson with me. I actually teach privately. That's how I make my living. And I don't have a sponsor for this video, so if you're interested in helping out the channel, I make these cool t-shirts. I hand make them. You can pick one up down below as well. But otherwise, let me know what you want to see. Let me know if this made sense. Let me know if this is the kind of thing that's helpful to your guitar journey. And I will see you next time for another guitar lesson next week. Thanks for watching.